Bonus stage time. We're now at 1999, the Sega Saturn was effectively bullied by the Sony PlayStation, and Sega had just released the Dreamcast, though Sony had other plans on the horizon. Sonic was off to a great start on the Dreamcast with Sonic Adventure, and it seems like it was all over for Sonic on a handheld platform. Or so you thought. Enter one of the most unlikely platforms you would see a Sonic game on, the SNK Neo Geo Pocket Color. Today we're going to be looking at Sonic the Hedgehog Pocket Adventure, the results of a collaboration between SNK and Sega, and the second time a Sonic game was released on a non-Sega system. I don't like to talk about the first one, it makes Sonic Blast look like a masterpiece. Despite appearances, Sonic the Hedgehog Pocket Adventure is a 16-bit game as the Neo Geo Pocket Color boasted a 16-bit processor. Sonic the Hedgehog Pocket Adventure, which I'll just shorten to Sonic Pocket Adventure for simplicity, is a 2D platformer much like the Genesis/Mega Drive titles it draws inspiration from. You play as Sonic trying to once again stop Dr. Robotnik from stealing the Chaos Emeralds and world domination. Sonic must speed through 9 zones in order to collect the Chaos Emeralds and stop Robotnik's plan. But after the bad taste that was Sonic Blast and, well, that other game, how does this one hold up? Is it any good? Find out in The Good. The game's presentation and content is easily one of its strongest points. As I had mentioned earlier, the game draws inspiration from the Genesis/Mega Drive titles, and this is made clear with its stage design. While the majority of the zones have received new names, they are based off existing stages from Sonic the Hedgehog 1, 2 and 3, with a majority of the gameplay being inspired by Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Each zone is split into 2 acts, and in the second act Sonic will encounter and fight a boss. A majority of the bosses are original to the game, but 3 of them have featured in previous Sonic games. The game's requirement to enter the special stages are inspired by Sonic the Hedgehog 1, where Sonic must collect 50 rings and then jump into a giant ring at the end of the act. In this case, Act 1 of each zone is the only opportunity you have to do this, to enter the special stage. Special stages are based off of Sonic 2's, where Sonic is running down a half pipe, collecting the required number of rings while avoiding hazards. By successfully completing the special stage, Sonic will receive a Chaos Emerald, and all 7 of them are required to see the true ending, though only 6 of them can be obtained through special stages. The last one you can obtain by fulfilling a certain condition in a boss fight. Sonic is a mix of his classic and modern appearances, with art of him depicting him in his modern appearance, and gameplay sprites showing him with his classic appearance, though with his new green eyes. Dr. Robotnik also changes from his classic appearance early in the game to his modern appearance as Dr. Eggman late in the game, though Eggman has always been his Japanese name. Sonic plays very much like he did in Sonic 2, with the spin attack when he jumps as well as the spin dash. As Sonic explores stages, he may find yellow cards scattered among the stages. These are puzzle pieces, and there's quite a few puzzles to piece together from them, so exploration of a stage is encouraged. Worried that the game will time out before you can find the pieces? You can actually turn that off and adjust the difficulty in the options, something I completely overlooked and found out after I'd beat the game. The game also features a versus mode through linking 2 Neo Geo Pocket Colors together, with the second player playing as Tails, which I'm unable to show due to the lack of a second player, though you can play as Tails if you enable debug mode. There's also a time trial mode where you can try and beat a stage as quickly as you can, and an advanced time trial mode which is pretty much the same thing, except you just need to collect 50 rings to qualify. Lastly, the game even has a continue feature, so each time you complete a level you can choose to replay it, and any Chaos Emeralds that you've collected up until that point will remain as well, making the game significantly more accessible if you can only play in short bursts or on the go. The game's music is also another thing I really liked about it. The music is where this game draws most of its inspiration from Sonic 3, as well as Sonic & Knuckles and even Sonic Jam on the Sega Saturn. These tunes are arrangements, and combined with the gameplay makes it a treat on the ears. Though some may seem a little out of place, especially if you know where they're from, I will let this slide since the arrangements are great and the Neo Geo Pocket can put out some really nice sounds. Hell, we've even got some time, so I'll show off some of the music just in case you guys want to have a wee bit of a taste of what it's like. However, even this game does have a flaw, and we'll discuss that in the bad. Despite the fact that I really like the game's presentation drawing inspiration from the Genesis/Mega Drive titles, I feel that the game plays it too safe by drawing just about everything from them. Most of the bosses and additional features aside, the game doesn't bring any new zones or music to the table, which I feel could have been an excellent way to showcase what the Neo Geo Pocket Color could do, as well as to make this game stand out as its own game instead of being more of a homage to the Genesis/Mega Drive games. Even features like having Tails as a playable character in the main adventure, outside of debug mode, or something as ambitious as Sonic and Knuckles and having Knuckles play through the existing levels with a story tailored to him would work too. Playing it safe certainly paid off in the end for Sonic Pocket Adventure, but I really do wonder what it could have been if SNK and Sega were a wee bit more daring and tried to create a completely new adventure for Sonic. Issues aside, that's all I really had to complain about here, so let's wrap up with the opinion. Sonic the Hedgehog Pocket Adventure is an excellent game, and I'll definitely pick it up if you enjoyed the Sonic games on the Genesis/Mega Drive, as Pocket Adventure is heavily inspired by them. The presentation and content with collecting the puzzle pieces, time trials, a versus mode and a level select for any zone that you've beaten, as well as retaining any Chaos Emeralds, and on top of that a difficulty option as well as being able to disable timeouts, makes the game very accessible to new players. The music, while arranged from Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles and Sonic Jam, Saturn, was an absolute blast to listen to as well. The only gripe I had with the game, as good as it is the fact that it doesn't really bring anything new to the table in terms of new zone ideas or music, but playing it safe wasn't exactly a bad idea either. It's definitely a must-have game for the Neo Geo Pocket Color, and it's easily one of the best titles for it that isn't a fighting game. So with that, it's time for my rating. I would give Sonic the Hedgehog Pocket Adventure the Big Arm boss from Sonic the Hedgehog 3 as well as Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles out of 10. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next Infinite Backlog review. If you enjoyed today's review, feel free to check out some of our other videos and subscribe for more. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram and our Facebook page. Once again, thank you for watching.